Hello, this is Bruce at Fleet Capital Management. It is Saturday morning, the 18th of November, 2023. We're going to take a quick look at the markets. I've made a couple of minor adjustments to how I am using the matrix, which we'll talk about, trying to make it a little bit quicker and a little bit more reactive. I'll show you that. After we look at the markets and I show you some of the stocks that we're in, then I'm going to transition and show you a little bit of some of the stock research that I use, and hopefully you'll find it interesting. But let's go forward. We always need to say the video presentation is intended for educational purposes only. The discussion of any security is not a recommendation to purchase or sell the security. I'm always available, Bruce at fleetcapitalmanagement.com, website, fleetcapitalmanagement.com, as you know, 2 buttons. This will take you to the most recent market video, and this button on top will put you on my calendar so we can do a Zoom call together. This is not used enough. Please use this whenever you have a question where we need to talk about something more than just an email and you want to talk about the market, you want to talk about your accounts, talk about things like that. Please just feel free to hop on my calendar. So first, let's go over to the trade matrix, updated through yesterday, Friday. Group 1, which is the most aggressive, and these are daily indicators. As you know, we are in an up situation for both the Hull and the moving averages, the 821. Over here on the weekly indicators, this is where I've made a change. I'm still using the Hull, but instead of using the go, no go, I'm using a weekly 2-week moving average over the 10-week moving average. And this is sometimes a little bit faster. And for my weekly folks, as long as one of these two is up when everything else is up, that to me is fine. If both of these were down, I wouldn't be investing for my weekly or my little bit more conservative investors. So minor change. On the daily MAs, we've gone from a cautious situation where the 50 was above the 20 to back to a fully bullish situation. The 20 is over the 50. I'll show you that. And probably the most important indicator on here is the 10 over the 20 on the weekly, because that's my bear market, my primary bear market avoidance indicator. So a couple of changes, but I'll show you some of these things on the charts. This is the S&P 500. We are looking at daily on the S&P. And what you can see is the 20 is now back over the 50. And that is what caused this to go from cautious back to full green, because in a pure technical bull market, the 20 line is over the 50 line is over the 200 line. So that's a real positive. I like seeing that. Staying on here for a few minutes on the daily. If we put the Hull on, the Hull is nicely green and pointing up, no problems there. The linear regression. So let me take the Hull off for a second. I'm going to show you some mixed things. The linear regression, when price goes above the top line, which is 2 standard deviations above the center line, it generally means it is a little bit frothy, and it normally comes back down. But, and there's a but here, you can see that the angle of the linear regression has been down. It's going to need to do this to pull that back up. So whereas normally this leads me to a cautious feeling, we'll see. We'll see what happens there. There is another indication down here, which is, this is called the RSI, which is an oscillator, but this is a little bit overbought as well. So what this means to me is next week, which is a holiday week, we may see some prices come back down just a little bit. We may not, but it is something I will be carefully watching. Super trend are the dots, the ATR dots. We're nicely over those, no problem there. And that's really the daily indication that I'm seeing. If I go through a couple stocks before I go to the weekly, a couple of our stocks like PSN, pretty much all of our stocks are nice technicals, moving up the stops, which is great. Here was the initial stop on crowd. Now it's up here. I mean, everything looks really good as far as our stocks go. So I won't spend too much time on that. And I would like to add some more stocks. I'm just not ready to do that yet. We're going to see how next week starts to play out. So now let's go to the weekly. So let me turn all of this off. Go to weekly and turn this on. So the weekly, the blue is the 10-week, okay? and the gold is the 20-week, and we have crossed back up. And this is our important indicator. This is the bear market indicator. So it did cross down for a couple of weeks, but it's now crossed back up. And I didn't think we were going to be in a full bear market, but when it is down like that, I don't buy stocks. I don't buy anything for you when it's down, because we never know how far down it's going to go. So that's interesting. The other thing that I changed here that I will show you is I've added a 2-week moving average, and I'll show you why. So the white is the 2-week moving average. A little bit hard to see because it's behind the price, but that's the 2-week moving average. And then we've got, actually, let me see if I can fix this for you really quick. Visual order, bring to front. That might help just a little bit. So I have a 2-week on here. And the reason I've done that is, there it is right there. So now I'm blending the hull on the weekly with the 2-week. The 2-week tends to be faster, which gives us a little bit more reliable indication. But again, these are just things that I use to tell me, should I be buying stocks for you, or should I not be buying stocks for you, based on the underlying technicals, because it's a whole lot easier to make money when you are trading in the direction of the trend. So I went through that quickly. I hope it makes sense. If it doesn't, and you're interested in this, let me know, and we'll dig into it deeper. Let me go back to my daily indication. Here we are. Again, everything looks good. We just need to see what's going to happen next week, which is a holiday week. And I've shown you our stocks. Okay, so that's all good. Now I want to switch over and show you a couple of other things on our stocks. Here are the current stocks that I own. And one of the things that I use this for primarily is looking for quality, fundamental analysis quality. Some of you think that I only focus on technical analysis, and that is absolutely not true. I apply technical analysis after I have identified extremely high quality stocks. And I can show it to you this way. This is a matrix of quality and momentum. And here's all the stocks that we own. Let's see if I can bring that up for you a little bit. And you can see our stocks, each bubble is one of our stocks. They're all in this top right quadrant, which means it's the highest quality that we can find. The only one that we have is that doesn't have a lot of momentum is Massimo, which I'm going to show you in just a minute. It's still high quality, but it really hasn't started in the momentum category. I'll go back to the chart and show you that in just a moment. This is another analysis tool that I use. It's so fascinating using technology nowadays, because it doesn't matter where companies are in the world. This company, Stockopedia, is in London. This company is in Jerusalem. So it's incredible to me how technology has allowed us to access technology from around the world. So in any event, here are our stocks. And what I'm looking at here is I'm looking at the absolute top analysts for each stock and what they're saying. I don't really care what all analysts are saying, because quite frankly, about 70% of Wall Street analysts are wrong most of the time. But there are some analysts that are right a lot. Like this guy, Harlan, on this particular stock. We're looking at NVIDIA. He has a success rate of 92.5%. So when he says it's a buy, he's right almost 93% of the time. This particular guy, Matt Ramsey, on the same stock, has an average, he has about a 90% success rate, but his average return when he makes a call is 110% on this stock. So I'm using this company to find the absolute best analyst and most profitable analyst for each and every stock, A, that we own, and B, that I'm looking to buy. So this is interesting. And again, I'm going quickly. If you want more information on what I'm doing here, just let me know. Another neat thing on this particular is showing me our holding gain. We're up 1.04, but it also shows the duration. We've only been back in this stock for 5 days, and we're up 1%. Not bad for 5 days. We bought this about a month ago. We're up 6.5%. We bought Crowd 12 days ago. We're up 11.5%, let's call it. We bought NetEase 12 days ago. We're up 5.4%. So this just kind of gives me an idea of how quickly, or the degree of momentum that we're finding in returns from the date that I purchased it, that I made the decision to buy it. Now, there was one stock that I mentioned called Massimo, and let me go down here. You might remember that we owned this before. If I go back to Stockopedia for a second, and let me scroll down. Here's Massey right here. So what this line shows is under realized gain. The last time we owned this, we made 6.5%. So that's what realized. Most of these are zeros because a lot of these stocks we hadn't owned before. The ones that do have a number are stocks that we have owned before at least once, and it could be many times. For instance, here's URI. We made 2% on this last time. On this go around, we're currently up 4.09%, and we've only owned it a couple of days. Okay, so now let me go back to Massey. Massey, we had made 6.5%. We bought it yesterday. We're down 1%, not a big deal, but I want to show you why I bought it. First of all, it's very high quality. The quality is ranked an 89. I like 90 and above, but you can see I've got some in the 80s. That means these are some of the highest quality stocks out there. That's fundamental analysis. If I go to Massey, look at this. It was once we got stopped out of it. I don't remember the exact date, and I'm going to take this linear regression off because that's going to be confusing, and I think I'm going to take off the super trend. So this had been in, after we made some money on the stock, it had been in a very, very, very long downtrend. I'm also going to turn off. Let's see if I can do that. Bear with me 1 second here. Just want to make this a little bit easier for you to see. So let's go back to Massey, and let's go here, and let's turn that off. Actually, that's okay. Sorry, I'm talking out loud. I'm just trying to get this to where it will give you an accurate representation. Here we go. So Massey was in a very, very long downtrend. And what I noticed a couple of days ago is it looked like it was bottoming out. So I put it on my watch list because it looked like it was not falling any longer, and it went sideways, and then I saw it start to come back up. It had a very positive earnings announcement on the 7th of November. I liked that. I saw it starting to come back up. I see the 20-day moving average getting ready to cross the 50-day moving average. Also, when I looked at some of my other important indicators, my TSI was crossed up. I like that, and it was getting really close to the center line. It's the green, which is a directional index, was above the red, of course. But what I liked more than that was this white ADX line is getting ready to cross over the red DI line. That's a very positive indication. So I rarely ever do this, but this is a very high quality company. I was also, when I saw this happen, I started to read the news on the company, and this company, Massimo, just went into a deal with a division of General Electric, more of their medical division, and created a new, let's see if I can, a new clearance, FDA clearance for a product that they make, which does home monitoring, which is getting very, very popular. So in any event, like I said, I rarely do this, but I saw this change. I read the news. I saw the earnings report. I looked at the technicals, and this stock is about as cheap as I've seen it in a very, very long time. And this is a rebound situation. So let's see what happens. I've got a very tight stop on it in case I'm wrong, because again, I normally don't buy stocks that had fallen this much. I wait until they shore up and I start buying them as their momentum is. But I just thought this is high quality, and I want to take advantage of this. So we'll see how that works out for us. But again, I've got a very tight stop. I'm not worried about that at all. So I know this was quick. I know I ran through a lot of stuff. The bottom line is I like what I'm seeing in the market. I like all of my technicals. We may have gotten a little bit extended, but this was a previous high back here. It looks like we're getting ready to break through that. We do have a shortened week. Next Thursday is Thanksgiving. Of course, the markets will be closed. Friday, the markets will be open, but only a half session. And most of the Wall Street traders will stay out of the market on Friday. So we really only have Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Thanksgiving week can be a weird week. A lot of money managers tend to sell on Wednesday because they don't want to have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, where news could come out with something around something very negative could come out over a 4-day period. So many managers will do a lot of selling on Wednesday. I hope that doesn't happen, but we'll see. So next week, all I'm saying is could be a little bit strange. If we get any good pullbacks, I'm going to keep adding stocks. I'm going to add more stocks. All of our stocks are working. All of my picks are working. So if we get any significant pullback going into that holiday, I'm going to add more positions because I think when we come out of the holiday, we will resume the uptrend. Again, apologize for going fast, but some have asked me to keep this as quickly as possible, these video reviews. So I'm trying to honor that. If you ever want to go into more depth into anything I'm talking about, just click on that Zoom button right here, and I'll be happy to talk to you as deeply as you want to go into how I research fundamental analysis, how I look at technical analysis, how I make those decisions. And again, our stock picks, we've got a heck of a track record on our stock picks. So I can show you how we're doing it. Any questions, just let me know. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will be back with you on Monday morning. Talk to you then. Bye-bye.